Listen to me carefully. Your life will not wait for you. Your dreams will not slow down for your laziness. And success will never bow to weakness. Every second you waste doubting yourself, someone else is training, grinding, pushing forward, ready to take the life that could have been yours. You are not here to live small, to accept average, to drown in excuses. You are here to fight for the life you deserve. The pain you feel, the struggles you endure, the doubts that whisper in your ear are not chains. They are tests. And only those who give every ounce of their soul, every drop of their energy, every moment of their focus will pass. Nothing is handed to the weak, but everything is given to those who refuse to quit. You must decide right now if you are going to let life own you, or if you will own life. You must give it your all, your discipline, your courage, your relentless fire. And when you do, winning is no longer an option. It is the only outcome. Stand tall, push harder, and remember, you are built to win. Life rewards relentless effort, not excuses. That is a universal truth, one that separates the people who rise above mediocrity from the ones who sink into the background and complain about their circumstances. Every excuse you tell yourself is a lie designed to protect your comfort zone, a shield to avoid the pain of growth, and a justification for staying average. But comfort never built champions, excuses never made legacies, and weakness has never been rewarded with greatness. The world only bends for those who force it to bend, who keep moving forward when their body screams for rest, who keep fighting when their mind tells them to give up, who keep chasing the vision no matter how far it seems. Life is not kind to the ones who sit back and hope, but it gives everything to those who refuse to stop. You must understand something vital. Life does not owe you anything. It does not care about your feelings, your past struggles, or how unfair you think it is. What it respects is effort. When you wake up earlier than everyone else, when you put in hours of work while others are distracted, when you sacrifice pleasure for progress, life notices. And when you repeat this again and again with relentless intensity, doors begin to open that were once locked shut. Opportunities reveal themselves not because of luck, but because of your consistency, your grind, your refusal to stop. Luck may give you a moment, but effort builds empires. Excuses, on the other hand, are poison. They whisper in your ear, convincing you that tomorrow will be a better time, that conditions aren't perfect yet, that you'll start when you feel ready. But tomorrow is a thief. Conditions will never be perfect. Readiness is an illusion. Every second you waste waiting for the right moment, you are losing ground to someone who decided to act now. Excuses may feel comfortable in the moment, but in the long run, they turn into regret, and regret weighs heavier than any pain of discipline. Relentless effort means doing it regardless of how you feel. It means getting up when your body wants to stay in bed. It means working on your goals when you'd rather scroll, party, or waste time on distractions. It means pushing through doubt, fear, and fatigue because you know on the other side of that discomfort lies the life you've always dreamed of. Champions are not motivated all the time. They are disciplined. They show up every single day because they understand the price of success is paid in full with sweat, sacrifice, and persistence. Think about it. Every person you admire, every icon you look up to, every success story that inspires you was built on relentless effort. Behind every medal, every stage, every company, every dream realized is a person who worked when others quit. The world did not hand them greatness. They seized it. They earned it by showing up day after day after day. They didn't say, I'll try. They said, I must. And they backed that promise with action. When you truly give your all, life has no choice but to reward you. It may not be instant and it may not come in the form you expect. But the law of effort is undeniable. Consistent hard work compounds into results. The gym rewards those who sweat. Business rewards those who grind. Relationships reward those who commit fully. Skills reward those who practice endlessly. Every arena of life bows to relentless effort. And the best part, you don't need to be the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. You just need to refuse to quit. Effort will always outlast talent that stops halfway. Understand that struggle is part of the journey. There will be moments where you feel like nothing is working. Moments where your progress feels invisible. Moments where you question why you started it all. But those moments are the very reason most people fail. They stop. If you refuse to stop, you have already separated yourself from the masses. Every rep in the gym, every late night spent working, every uncomfortable decision to stay disciplined is a deposit into the account of your future. Eventually, you will withdraw success because relentless effort always pays interest. Stop lying to yourself with excuses. Stop telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. Stop waiting for permission. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to hand you your dream. It is on you and you alone to claim it. And the way you claim it is with effort so relentless, so undeniable that the universe itself has to step aside and make room for you. If you give everything, your focus, your discipline, your resilience, you will rise. Life cannot deny a soul that refuses to quit. The ones who keep going are the ones who keep winning. Remember this. Excuses build nothing, but relentless effort builds everything. Pain is proof you are moving forward. Every time you feel discomfort, every time you struggle, every time life tests you with obstacles, that is not a sign of weakness. That is not a punishment. It is the evidence that you are growing, evolving, and becoming someone stronger than you were yesterday. Too many people run from pain, thinking it is something to avoid, something to shield themselves from. But the truth is that pain is the most honest teacher life can give you. If you feel pain, it means you are pushing beyond your limits, and pushing beyond your limits is the only way to expand them. Think about the gym. The reason muscles grow is because they are torn apart first. Every rep, every lift, every push creates tiny tears in the fibers, and it hurts. But when the body repairs, those fibers come back bigger, stronger, more powerful. Without the pain of tearing, there is no growth. Life works the same way. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every setback rips you apart in ways you didn't expect. It hurts, it feels unfair, it makes you want to quit. But if you endure, if you heal while still moving forward, you become more powerful than you could ever imagine. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the proof that transformation is happening. Those who live their lives avoiding pain live small lives. They never risk, they never try, they never push themselves into the unknown because they are terrified of failing, of being uncomfortable, of suffering. But the cost of avoiding pain is never discovering your true potential. You cannot reach greatness in comfort. You cannot build resilience in ease. The fire that forges steel is not gentle. It is intense. It is brutal. It is relentless. And yet that fire is what transforms raw metal into something unbreakable. Pain is the fire that forges you into something unstoppable. When you feel the sting of failure, when you experience rejection, when you fall flat after giving everything you had, you must remind yourself, this pain is not the end. It is the beginning. It means you are in motion. You dared to try. You dared to step out of safety. And even though it hurts, you are already ahead of everyone who never even began. Pain means you are on the battlefield, not sitting on the sidelines. And only those who fight have a chance at victory. Embrace the pain because it is shaping you. When your body aches from working harder than you thought you could, celebrate it. It means your limits just stretched. When your heart aches from loss, let it burn because it is teaching you strength that comfort never could. When your mind aches from stress, pressure, and fatigue, recognize that it is forging mental toughness, the very weapon you will need to conquer bigger battles. Pain is not weakness leaving the body. It is weakness transforming into strength. The path to success is paved with discomfort. No one climbs a mountain without feeling their lungs burn and their muscles scream. No one builds a business without sleepless nights, constant doubt, and relentless setbacks. No one builds character without facing hardship, betrayal, and struggle. Yet the ones who make it to the top are those who learn to take that pain and convert it into fuel. They did not stop because it hurt. They kept going because they understood that hurt is the sign of progress. Ask yourself, when have you grown the most in life? Was it during the easy times when everything was smooth, when comfort wrapped around you like a blanket? Or was it during the storms, when you were tested, when you were pushed, when you were forced to rise or break? Everyone knows the answer. Growth is born from adversity. Pain is the midwife of greatness. So when pain arrives, do not run, do not hide, do not drown it with distractions. Face it head on, stare it in the eye and say, you are here because I am moving forward. You are proof that I am alive, proof that I am progressing, proof that I am becoming who I was meant to be. Learn to love the pain because it is your greatest ally. It is the compass pointing you toward growth. You must understand that life will never give breakthroughs to those who stop at the first sign of hurt. The champions, the winners, the legends, they all all share one trait. They suffered and kept moving. They fell and kept rising. They bled, cried, and broke, but they never surrendered. And because they embraced the pain, because they recognized it as part of the path, they reached heights most people only dream of. Every time you feel pain, remember it is temporary, but the strength it builds is permanent. The burn fades, but the growth remains. The scars heal, but the lessons last forever. Pain is not a signal to quit. It is a signal that you are alive, in motion, and on the edge of transformation. So embrace it, harness it, and keep moving forward, because the very thing that hurts today is the same thing that will make you unshakable tomorrow. Discipline is the highest form of freedom. Most people hear the word discipline and think of restriction, control, or limitation, but the truth is the complete opposite. Discipline is not about chains, it is about keys. It is the master key to freedom, power, and control over your life. Without discipline, you are a slave to impulses, to laziness, to weakness, to every distraction that pulls you off course. With discipline, you own your choices, you own your time, and you own your future. Discipline is not the prison, it is the escape from the real prison: chaos, regret, and wasted potential. Think about freedom for a moment. What is real freedom? Is it doing whatever you want, whenever you want? No. That kind of freedom is an illusion. If you only follow your urges, you become trapped by them. If you eat whatever you want, whenever you want, you become trapped by your body. If you spend money carelessly, you become trapped by debt. If you avoid work, you become trapped by failure. When you give in to comfort, it feels like freedom in the moment, but eventually you are caged by the consequences. True freedom comes from discipline, because discipline gives you control over yourself. And when you control yourself, nothing can control you. Discipline is the skill of saying no to what weakens you and yes to what strengthens you. It is the ability to wake up early when your body screams to stay in bed. It is the decision to train when you don't feel like it, to study when you'd rather relax, to work when distraction tempts you. It is self-mastery, and self-mastery is the highest form of freedom, because the person who controls himself cannot be controlled by anything else. Without discipline, your moods control you, your cravings control you, your fears control you, but with discipline, you act according to your vision, not your emotions. You are free to chase your highest potential without being dragged down by weakness. Most people misunderstand. Discipline is punishment. They think discipline means suffering, forcing yourself into a miserable routine, living without joy. That is false. Discipline is the opposite of misery. Discipline builds the life you want, the body you want, the career you want, the future you want. Discipline creates joy because it removes regret. It removes the heavy weight of I should have and replaces it with the pride of I did. Think about the feeling after you hit the gym when you didn't want to, after you worked late when you could have quit, after you stayed consistent when most people stopped. That satisfaction is freedom. It is the feeling of being in control of your destiny, and that comes only from discipline. Discipline is also the great equalizer. You don't need to be the smartest, the richest, or the most talented. If you have discipline, you can outlast anyone. Talent fades when it is lazy. Intelligence is wasted when it is unfocused. Discipline crushes excuses, and with time, discipline always wins. History is full of people who were not the most gifted, but they were relentless, disciplined, and consistent. And because of that, they rose to the top. Discipline will carry you farther than motivation ever can, because motivation comes and goes, but discipline remains. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that never dies. Now ask yourself, who is truly free? The person who does whatever they feel like and ends up trapped by the consequences, or the person who practices discipline and creates a life on their own terms? Freedom is not found in indulgence. It is found in mastery. The athlete who disciplines his training earns the freedom to dominate the field. The entrepreneur who disciplines her time earns the freedom to live life without financial limits. The artist who disciplines his craft earns the freedom to create without boundaries. In every case, discipline creates the freedom that undisciplined people only dream about. Discipline is hard in the beginning, but it pays forever. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret is eternal. When you choose discipline, you suffer for a moment, but you win for a lifetime. When you choose excuses, you enjoy comfort for a moment, but you suffer for a lifetime. You must decide which pain you want, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One hurts now, the other hurts forever. Every great achievement requires discipline. It requires you to show up when it's boring, to push when it's hard, to sacrifice when it's tempting to quit. And every time you stay disciplined, you strengthen your freedom. You break free from the chains of laziness, procrastination, and weakness. You prove to yourself that you are in control, and that self-respect compounds into unstoppable confidence. Discipline is not about losing freedom. It is about earning it. The freedom to live healthy, the freedom to build wealth, the freedom to chase dreams without being tied down by excuses, the freedom to wake up and know you are in control of your destiny. That is real freedom, and it is only possible when you choose discipline over comfort, action over excuses, and consistency over chaos. So stop running from discipline. Embrace it, master it, live it. Because the truth is simple, discipline is the highest form of freedom, and only the disciplined will ever know what true freedom feels like. Winners are made by sacrifice, not luck. Too many people look at successful individuals and convince themselves that it must have been luck, that the universe gave them a golden opportunity, that someone handed them a chance on a silver platter. This is the language of the weak, the defeated, the ones who never truly tried. Because if you pay attention, you will see that behind every so-called lucky person is a history of brutal sacrifices, years of unseen work, and countless choices where they gave up comfort to chase progress. Luck is just the excuse people use to explain away someone else's results. Sacrifice is the truth no one wants to accept. Sacrifice means trading short-term comfort for long-term greatness. It means waking up earlier than everyone else, staying up later, giving up nights of parties, weekends of laziness, and moments of distraction to build something bigger than yourself. It means saying no to instant gratification so that you can earn something far greater in the future. Winners don't stumble into victory. They bleed for it. They sweat for it. They give up what others are not willing to give up. And that is why they stand where others only dream. Think about the athlete who wins gold on the world stage. People see the medal, the celebration, the fame, and call it luck. But what they don't see are the years of brutal training, the mornings of exhaustion, the nights of pain, the broken bones, the sacrifices of family time, relationships, and comfort. That is not luck. That is sacrifice. Think about the entrepreneur who builds an empire. People see the money, the lifestyle, the freedom, and call it luck. But what they don't see are the years of risk, the sleepless nights, the failures, the debt, the sacrifices of security and stability. Again, not luck, sacrifice. Luck may open a door once in your life, but only sacrifice allows you to walk through it and stay there. Without sacrifice, luck means nothing, because opportunity without preparation is wasted. Winners don't sit around waiting for luck. They create their own luck by putting themselves in position again and again until eventually the world has no choice but to reward them. Sacrifice is the price of greatness, and the truth is that most people aren't willing to pay it. They want the victory without the grind, the rewards without the risk, the success without the struggle, but it doesn't work that way. Every winner has scars you will never see, sacrifices you will never know, and battles they fought in silence while the rest of the world slept. The world will only ever see the surface, the trophies, the applause, but winners know the truth. Everything came from sacrifice. Sacrifice is not glamorous. It is lonely. It is choosing to stay in while others go out. It is choosing to work when others relax. It is choosing to focus when others are distracted. It is choosing the hard path when the easy one is right in front of you. And in those moments, when no one is watching, when no one is applauding, you are building yourself into someone unstoppable. Those who choose comfort never understand this, but those who choose sacrifice will one day be called lucky. Ask yourself, what are you willing to give up for the life you say you want? Because the truth is, if you are not willing to sacrifice for your goals will be sacrificed. You cannot have both comfort and greatness. You cannot serve both ease and ambition. You will either give up the small pleasures now to gain something extraordinary later, or you will cling to those pleasures and watch extraordinary opportunities pass you by. Every winner has chosen the first option, and every loser has chosen the second. Sacrifice is also the ultimate filter. It separates those who talk from those who act. Everyone talks about success, but only a few are willing to do what it takes. Sacrifice proves who is serious. It reveals who is willing to bleed for their vision and who is just daydreaming. That is why winners are rare, because very few people are willing to make the sacrifices required to become one. In the end, winners know that nothing worth having comes without sacrifice. They know that comfort is the enemy of growth, that every great achievement demands a price, and that the world does not reward wishes, it rewards trade-offs. They understand that while others are looking for shortcuts, they are sharpening their discipline through sacrifice, and that is why they succeed. So stop waiting for luck. Stop hoping that life will just hand you what you want. Decide what you're willing to sacrifice. Decide what you're willing to give up. Decide what price you're ready to pay for the future you dream of. Because winners are made by sacrifice, not luck. And the moment you choose sacrifice over comfort, your journey to victory begins. Victory belongs only to those who never quit. This is not a slogan. It is not a motivational catchphrase. It is reality. Life will test you. It will break you down. It will throw obstacles in your path designed to make you stop. Most people do stop. They face resistance. They meet failure. They feel pain and they quit. They convince themselves it wasn't meant to be, that it was too hard, that fate was against them. But the truth is simple. The only ones who ever win are the ones who refuse to stop moving forward, no matter how heavy the burden, no matter how long the road, no matter how impossible it seems. Quitting is the death of dreams. The moment you quit, the moment you walk away, you guarantee your failure. But as long as you keep moving, as long as you keep showing up, there is always a chance, always an opportunity for a breakthrough. Victory does not demand perfection. It demands persistence. You don't need to be the fastest, the strongest, or the smartest. You just need to outlast everyone else. Persistence is a weapon far more powerful than talent. Because talent burns out when things get tough, but persistence keeps moving through fire, rain, and storm until victory has no choice but to surrender. Think about history. Every great leader, every champion, every revolutionary has one thing in common. They did not quit. They were beaten down, mocked, rejected, and defeated countless times, but they refused to give up. The greatest inventors failed hundreds of times before creating breakthroughs that changed the world. The greatest athletes lost more times than they won before finally achieving glory. The greatest entrepreneurs went broke, were laughed at, and told they would never succeed, but they kept pushing until the world had to recognize their vision. None of these people were superhuman. They were just relentless. And because they never quit, they achieved victory. The journey to victory is not straight. It is filled with setbacks, detours, and moments of despair. There will be days where you question yourself, nights where you doubt everything, times when you wonder if it is even worth it. That is the battlefield where most people lose, not because they are incapable, but because they surrender. The ones who win are not those who never feel doubt, but those who feel it and keep going anyway. They understand that pain is temporary, but quitting makes it permanent. They know that every step, no matter how small, brings them closer, and that stopping guarantees they will never arrive. Victory demands a mindset of resilience. You must treat quitting as not an option. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how far the finish line seems, you must commit to staying in the fight. When you adopt that mindset, when you burn the bridges behind you and refuse to retreat, you will discover a power inside yourself that most people never find. Because when you remove quitting from the equation, the only thing left is to keep pushing until you win. Life will try to break you. It will test your willpower with failure after failure, rejection after rejection, obstacle after obstacle. And here is the truth. It is supposed to. Life weeds out the weak, the half-hearted, the ones who give up easily. But if you refuse to break, if you keep pushing when the odds are stacked against you, if you keep standing after every knockdown, life eventually bows to your persistence. Victory belongs to those who stay standing the longest. Ask yourself, how many times have you quit before the miracle happened? How many times did you stop when you were just inches away from the breakthrough? Too many people give up too soon. They stop digging when they are one strike away from gold. They stop running when the finish line is just around the corner. They let exhaustion blind them from realizing how close they are. That is why persistence matters, because you never know how close you are to victory. And the only way to find out is to keep going. Every scar you carry, every failure you faced, every obstacle you've overcome is not proof of defeat. It is proof of your endurance. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still capable of fighting. And as long as you are still fighting, victory is still possible. It may not come today. It may not come tomorrow, but it will come, because persistence always wins in the end. Victory belongs only to those who never quit. Remember that the next time you feel like giving up, the next time you doubt yourself, the next time life pushes you to your breaking point, the struggle is temporary, the pain is temporary, but the triumph of victory lasts forever. Do not quit. Do not surrender. Stay in the fight And one day you will look back and realize that the very moments you almost gave up were the exact moments that shaped you into a winner. Victory belongs only to those who never quit. And if there is one truth you must carry with you, let it be this: no matter how dark it gets, no matter how tired you feel, no matter how heavy the weight seems, you must keep moving forward. Every time you rise after falling, every time you push through pain, every time you refuse to surrender, you are building a story of resilience that nothing can erase. Winners are not defined by how many times they succeed. They are defined by how many times they stand up after failure. The road will test you. It will try to break you. It will whisper that you should stop, but you are stronger than that voice. And the moment you prove it is the moment victory begins to bow to you. Quitting guarantees defeat, but persistence guarantees progress, and progress leads to triumph. One step at a time, one fight at a time, one refusal to quit at a time, you move closer to the life you were born to claim. Remember this: victory is not given. It is earned. And it will always, always belong to those who never quit.